Hello guys, welcome to another exciting day. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to YJ Digital World. I am your host Abu Joseph. So guys, on today's tutorial video, I'll be walking you through on how to create a flyer design for an event program using Photoshop 2023. So if this sounds like what you're actually interested in and you're new to the channel, do well to smash the subscribe button. Turn on the post notification bell to get notification whenever I upload new content. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for always watching. So basically this flyer design is all about a summit program, okay, in Nigeria precisely. So in order for me to achieve this, I have to create a Canva workspace for the design. So I'll slide over to file over here and click on new. So the new panel comes up, the new document panel comes up rather. You can choose to give your project a name, okay. You can give it the name flyer, okay. Set your unit of measurement in pixels and set the width and height on 1080 by 1350. That is the Instagram portrait frame size. This design will be used on social media platforms precisely like Instagram and the rest of them. The resolution will be set on 300. Color mode will be set on RGB. The RGB color mode is for mobile devices and other web platforms precisely. So this design won't be printed. So after you're done with that, you click on the OK button for that, guys. So over here I have my Canva workspace and I have all the exercise files I'll be using for this tutorial purpose. So the link to this exercise files is in the video description. Don't forget to check the video description for the link, okay. So the first phase of this design has to do with creating of the background. So in order for me to create my background, first thing first I have to transform this, okay, by hitting Ctrl T, left click and drag out like this, okay. So I'll come to the adjustment and create a gradient map. Please make sure that whenever you're making use of the gradients, make sure that the gradient thumbnail is selected, not the max layer. Please make sure this layer is actually selected and come to your gradient editor. On the gradient editor here, I've already created a preset. I've already created a preset of colors I'll be using. So on this end, here is the hex code I'll be using. 4B0303 is the hex code. While on this other end, here is the hex code for the color I'm using. F23807 is the hex code. So you click on the OK button. So after I'm done with this, I need to add a little feel of texture to this background. So I hit Ctrl T, okay, on the keyboard and scale out like this, holding Alt, okay. Change the blending mode to, let me say, I think this will work perfectly well for this, okay. So after we are done with this, the next thing I have to do is to create a rectangle for this, okay. So the rectangle, I'll be using it to place the main text and other information, okay, thereby creating a focus area for the flyer design. So I'll come over here, create a rectangle of something like this size, like this, okay. So after I'm done, please, I'll advise you enable your color palette, okay. So come over here and sample the color over here, and the hex code is 260000 is the hex code for the colors. So after I'm done, hit Ctrl E on the keyboard, pick my move tool, align this horizontally and vertically to the middle, Ctrl D to actually deselect. So after I'm done with that, I'll turn off the color layers, come over here, pick my lasso tool precisely, okay, and make a quick selection of the edges. I need the edges to be rough, okay. I don't like the smooth edges, okay. So I'll come over here and create edges like this. So I'm making use of my mouse, I'm not making use of tablet for this. So you just take your time and create this texture. So guys, I'll be speeding up the selection process for this, okay. So after you're done creating your selection like this, all you have to do is to click on the max layer like this, okay. So you have your rectangle looking like this. In case you don't have yours looking like this, make sure your max layer selected, hit Ctrl I to invert it and it will be looking like that. So Ctrl I enable you to invert your selection precisely. So after we're done with this, I'll hit Ctrl T, scale this down a little bit like this and check. Right click to convert it to a smart object. Okay, so after I'm done with this, select this layer here, hold shift, select the last layer and hit Ctrl G and call this background. So I'll double click here and call this background. Okay, BG stands for my background. So the next phase has to do with placing of body of text. So I'll come over here and start placing my text. So I'll pick my text tool. So I'll come over here, left click and paste in the text precisely. So I'll check, make sure your text is selected, align this horizontally to the middle, rather centralized alignments I'll be using for this. So I'll enable my colors, come over here on my character panel. In case you don't have yours here, you can enable it from the windows over here. Okay, so I'll sample the color over here, and here's the hex code F9A to 6D is the hex code for the color. So I'll make a quick selection of this precisely and scale this down like this, increase the tracking. Okay, scale this down to about 5, increase the tracking, increase the leading like this, adjust it, increase the tracking like this. Okay, you check, pick your move tool, Ctrl A, align horizontally, Ctrl D to deselect and use your navigation key to position it like this. So pick your text tool, come over here and adjust the tracking like this a little bit. So you can leave this like this. So Ctrl T, transform and scale this down like this. Is okay like this. Okay, so after we are done with this, we'll move to the next phase that has to do with placing of the text summit. Okay, over here. So I'll come over here, left click and place in the text summit. Okay, I'll place it over here, align this, make this should be centralized. Okay, change the field. Okay, the field should be set on white precisely. Ctrl A, pick your move tool and align this horizontally. Ctrl D, Ctrl T, transform and scale it up like this. For this other set, I made use of the Berber Noel font for this. So for this, I'll be making use of the font called Wondra. Wondra is the name of the text I'll be using. So I'll adjust the tracking a little bit like this. So I'll adjust the leadings a little bit as well like this. So after I'm done with this, I'll double click on the layer. So I'll enable the stroke over here. So for this, I'll be setting the stroke as 6 for the size. Outside is the position. Blending mode is set on normal, opacity on 100. The gradients, I'll be using gradients, not color for this. So on the gradients here is the hex code for the color. I'm using DF0D0D is the hex code, while on this other end there's the hex code DC4E0A is the hex code. Okay, so I'll leave other settings the video and click on the OK button. So after I'm done with that, come over here and drag this layer over here. Okay, right click and create a clipping mask precisely. Okay, Ctrl T and adjust it like this. Okay, so after you are done, you scale this down, you check, come over here to your adjustment and apply a gradient map. Okay, make sure this is selected, the gradient icon is selected. Click on the clip marks, expand the gradient. So all the way to the editor here, I'll be making use of this color for this. On this end, here is the hex code for the color I'm using. FF6D01 is hex code for the color, while on this other end, here is the hex code for the color I'm using for the color. So I'll click on the OK button. So after I'm done with that, we are good to go. So I'll come over here, left click and paste in your text over here. Okay, so for this, I'll be changing the fill color for this to this shade of red, which is DE0B0B is the hex code. For this, I'll click on the check, come to the character panel and adjust the tracking like this. Okay, Ctrl T, transform and scale this down like this. align it to the middle like this. Okay, it's okay like this. So all I have to do next is to select this set of text, hold shift, select this other set of text, hit Ctrl G to group it. Okay, call this theme, that's the name for the group. Theme is the name for the group. While for this other set of text at the top, the rotate present text, I'll place it separately from this group called the theme. So I'll adjust the position like this. Okay, so thereby creating hierarchy in the design. So come over here, select the rectangle, okay, and create a rectangle of this size like this. Okay, after you're done creating the rectangle, all I have to do is to pick my move to hold Alt, left click and drag like this, create another duplicate of this, hold Alt, left click and create a duplicate like this as well. Select the whole layers, okay, and adjust their position. So you hit Ctrl T, select the whole layers and adjust their position on your canvas precisely. Okay, you can place it like this. So after we are done with this, so the next thing I have to do is to place in this. Okay, so I'll enable this, hold Alt in between the two layers and left click to create a clipping mark into this rectangle. Hit Ctrl T, scale this down like this. Okay, you can place this over here. Okay, that's for this. So you can hold Alt, make a duplicate and place the new duplicated one over here. Create a clipping marks, Ctrl T and position it over here as well. Okay, so you come over here, hit hold Alt again, left click and drag it to where you have this other rectangle layer here as well. Hold Alt, left click and drag, hold Alt in between the two layers, your mouse pointer changes to this, create a clipping mask, Ctrl T and adjust its position like this. Okay, while for this I can still choose to adjust the position like this. So the next thing I have to do is to change the fill color for this particular rectangle. I'll change the fill color okay, while for this other rectangle I'll change the color as well. While for this other set of rectangle I'll change the color to this as well. Okay, so I'll enable the texture, the pattern layer back. Okay, select each and every one of the pattern layers over here. Okay, scale down the opacity to about 50 precisely and change the blending mode to luminous. Okay, that is for that. After we are done with that, we have to place in the other set of images. I'll drag this over here. We have the first rectangle, hold Alt in between to create a clipping mark like this. Ctrl T. Okay, so but before you transform this, I always advise that you convert your model image or your subject image to a smart object so that it won't lose quality. You can adjust and place it somewhere like this on your canvas. Okay, that's for this. So you hit the check, and next you have to drag down this image over here where I have this other rectangle, hold Alt to create a clipping marks in between them. Okay, like this. Hit Ctrl T and place this over here like this. Okay, check. So for this other pattern layer here, I'll come over here, drag this image over here, hit Ctrl T and position this like this. Okay, on the canvas. Okay, that's for that, guys. So after we are done with this, the next thing I have to do is to select this layer from the top, hold shift, select this other layer, hit Ctrl G and call this guest precisely. Okay, that's for that. So the next thing I have to do is to place the names of the guests beneath the images. So I'll come over here, scroll down under the same group over here, hold Alt to make a duplicate of the rectangle and drag it outside the group completely. Okay, this rectangle is now outside the group, so I hit Ctrl T and transform. Check. Come over here, drag this down like this. Check. Okay, so hold Alt, left click and drag this way like this. Okay, hold Alt again, left click and make another duplicate and drag it this way like this. So after I'm done, I'll have to change the fill color for this. So for this, I'll change it to orange, while for this I'll change this to green, while for this I'll change this to red. Okay, that's for that. So all I have to do is to pick my text tool over here, okay, and placing their names respectively. So I'll come over here, left click and paste in the name. Okay, make sure this is making use of the central align format. Okay, so come over to your character panel, increase the space between the text like this. Okay, hit Ctrl T, scale this down like this, hit your text and make adjustments like this. Okay, so scale this down by using Ctrl T and position it like this on your canvas. Would or scale this down like this. So I can still make adjustments to this by increasing the space between text and on the vertical axis as well like this. Okay, so after we are done with that, select these layers and drag them and place them side by side with the rectangle. Okay, so for this first text, that is for the first guest, to place them side by side with this, so I'll hold Ctrl, left click to make a quick selection of the rectangle, pick my move to align horizontally and vertically into the rectangle, Ctrl D to deselect. So I'll drag this other name here, hold Ctrl, left click and select this rectangle over here. Okay, make sure the text layer is selected, your move to is selected, align horizontally and vertically to the middle, Ctrl D to deselect. So same technique will be applied here, hold Ctrl, left click on the rectangle layer, make sure your text layer of the name is selected, align horizontally and vertically to the middle, Ctrl D to actually deselect. So after we're done with that, we'll move to the next phase. Okay, but before doing that, I'll select this and group them together and call this guest name. I'll call this name precisely. So after I'm done with this, I'll select the both layers, scale this down a little bit like this and adjust its position over here. So the next thing I have to do after scaling down the size of the guest is to place other set of information such as the time and date of the event, placing the text over here and position it to somewhere around here like this. Okay, make sure it overlaps with your guides. So for this, pick my text to change the fill color to this color precisely. Okay, so I'll change the text color for this to this. Okay, so after I'm done, I'll come over here, select this and change the fill color to this as well. So adjust the tracking a little. So adjust the leading. So you adjust the leadings a little bit as well. I think this is okay. Pick your move tool, adjust its position like this. So come over here. So I'll come over here, left click and paste in this over here. So guys, I'll be speeding up the process for this, please. So after you're done with this, you come over here, select the line tool. So you left click and drag this way like this. Okay, turn off your fill We don't need the fill, we just need the stroke. So we can set our stroke on white precisely and scale up the size to about let me say 2 pixels should be okay for this. Okay, and position it to somewhere here like this. Okay, so after we're done with that, we move to this phase of placing in the social media handle. Okay, so here is the social media handle, so I'll align this to the middle precisely, Ctrl D to deselect. So after we are done with this, I still need to add more depth to this design. So I'll make a duplicate of this texture layer over here, hit Ctrl J. Okay, drag this outside the group, okay, and take it to somewhere around here like this. So over here we have the duplicated layer, so I'll right click and convert this back to a layer. So double click on this, sample the color from here. Here is the hex code. Click on the OK button, hit Ctrl T, left click and drag down like this. Hold Shift to disturb the shape like this, and place this around somewhere like this. So you can see hold Shift, adjust this like this. Okay, so after you're done with that, the next thing you have to do, let me see, adjust this a little. So after you're done with that, we have to place in the text. So come over here, left click and paste in your text. Make sure this text is using the centralized align method. So change the fill color to this precisely. Okay, click on the OK button, hit Ctrl T, scale this down properly well like this. Okay, so you come over here, drag this layer over here, hold Ctrl to make a quick selection of the rectangle. Pick your move to align this horizontally and vertically inside the texture layer, Ctrl D to deselect. Okay, so after you're done with that, come over here and increase your tracking a little bit, the space between the text. Okay, I think this is looking okay like this. So let me still make a little adjustment to this, a little like this. So after we're done with this, move to adding a feel of playful text along the edges. So come over here, hold Alt to make a duplicate of the rectangle, Ctrl T, disrupt the shape like this, holding Shift. Okay, so after you're done with that, so you place in your text over here, okay, and change your fill color to same fill color as this. Okay, so you click on the check, come over here and drag this to somewhere around here like this. Okay, so you hold Ctrl to make a quick selection of the texture layer, select your text, pick your move tool and align horizontally and vertically to the middle, Ctrl D to deselect, Ctrl T to transform, and scale this down like this. You scale up the tracking like this so that the text can be more visible. Okay, hold Ctrl once more, pick your move to align horizontally and vertically into it and deselect. So I'll be replicating the same steps for other shapes as well. So I'll bring this over here. We'll move to the final phase of this design that has to do with adding a feel of texture and depth to the design. So I'll come over here where I have this. Okay, I'll hit Ctrl Shift N on the keyboard, create a new layer and call this noise. Soft lights, enable the 50% gray, click on the OK, right click and convert this to a smart object. So after I'm done with this, come over here to filter. So I think this nice texture is good for for this design precisely. You can see the effects on the canvas, so I'll click on the OK button. So after I'm done with this, we'll move to making little adjustments to this precisely. So I'll come to the character panel and adjust the spacing a little bit like this. Okay, adjust this like this. So after I'm done with this, the next thing I have to do is to add the feel of the nylon effects. Okay, so I'll drag this above the noise layer here and enable this first. So I hit Ctrl T, scale this up like this, change the blending mode. So let me see, I think this is okay, and scale down the opacity. Okay, don't need it to be too heavy. I think you can see the effect. So this is without and this is with the nylon effect. So I'll enable this as well, Ctrl T as well. So let me leave this like this, change the blending mode to, let me see which works perfectly well. I think this is so bright. So I'll scale down this to about, let me see, I need it to be visible. Let me try other blending mode to see how it looks. So I'll just leave this on, add light like this. Okay, I think this is actually looking nice. So ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of today's tutorial. If you do find this video helpful, do well to give this video a like, do well to smash the like button. If you are new to the channel and you are yet to subscribe, do well to smash the subscribe button. Turn on the post notification bell to get notification whenever I upload new content. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for always watching. Please and please don't forget to like the video. Okay, if you have any question, any comment, you can leave your questions and comments in the comment section. Okay, and don't forget to join the Telegram group. The link is in the pinned comments below. Okay, do well to also share this video with other creatives around you. So thank you guys for watching.